What's up, everybody? My name is Simon Hill. I don't say hit the like button or subscribe when it's time to talk about one of these horrible stories, so let's just get right into it. So, today I'm going to talk about the story of Leonna Hale, another person who is a victim of state violence, police violence, and another person who became a victim of our society, the American society at least, that worships the gun more than we value other lives of citizens or even other people as a whole. Now, unfortunately, my channel has been plagued and infested by white supremacists, racists, right-wing nuts, etc., gun nuts. I don't know where these people come from. I don't really care. I'm going to continue to talk about what I want to talk about, and I hope that these white supremacists, racists will continue to support my channel by sharing my content, posting my videos, and, not even watching until the end and making themselves look very stupid in the comments that eventually get deleted and blocked. So I hope you guys continue to post my content on all your right-wing websites, etc., and I'll just continue to do me. Now, I'm not going to actually show the video of Leonna Hale being killed because, number one, this video is censored, and I'm actually tired of seeing the Black Death pornography that I've always spoken about. So I'm just going to read this article from Newsweek about the situation, react to it. I have not read it in full, though I did see the video, and we're just going to get into it. So this is from Newsweek. It's titled, "Who is Leonna Hale? Outrage Over Missouri Police Shooting of Pregnant Woman," written by Khalida Rahman on May 31st, 2022, published at 8:46 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, an unarmed black woman told officers she was pregnant just before she was shot multiple times in Kansas City, Missouri, according to a witness. Leonna Hale, 26, had her hands up in the moments before officers shot her in the parking lot of a Family Dollar store on Friday night. A woman identified only as Shédanja told the Kansas City Star. All right. Shédanja said Hale was attempting to run away from officers when they shot her 5 times. Now, I want to stop right here and say many people believe that if you do not comply with the police officer's orders, that you deserve to be killed. For some reason, this seems to be the logic of many of the Second Amendment people, the white supremacists, the racists, etc. They say if the police officer tells you to do something and you do not comply 100%, that means, in their twisted logic and mind, you deserve to get shot or killed, right? With that logic in mind, why would it have been wrong for the Capitol Police to open fire on the entire insurrectionists, the crowds that were there trying to storm the U.S. Capitol? With that logic in mind, should the police have just started opening fire on all those American citizens who were so angry about the lie that Trump told them that the election was stolen? Would that have been okay? Of course, they would have said no, because number one, the racists and white supremacists believe that everything that they do, that their guys do, that they want them to do, is all fake, right? It's all a psyop. These people never believe they have the nuts or the capacity or the courage to do the actual fascist stuff they want to do. They don't shoot up supermarkets with black people. They don't storm the Capitol. They don't try to assassinate, heads of state like Mike Pence. They never do that stuff. This is all psyops, right? But anything else that anybody else does, oh, that's real, right? Anyway, even if I did admit that you said, even if I did take your point, that if you do not comply with the police order, you deserve to be killed, right? Let's say I take that position, right? Why should that even happen where the other extreme, is to get shot? For example, if you do not comply with the police's orders in a country like, let's say, I don't know, Colombia, here in Turkey, Italy, whatever, right? The police aren't just going to start just shooting you and busting a cap in you because the citizens do not have guns willy-nilly. By and large, American citizens are more armed than any other citizens on the planet. So police are naturally more on edge and have the trigger. Therefore, they're going to likely go to lethal force, right? Should that be the situation that should happen when a person does not comply with the police's orders to stand down, relax, whatever? No, it should not. No. And the reason why all of this happens is because too many guns are in our society, and we need to put the guns down. We need to abolish the Second Amendment, rewrite the Constitution, whatever it is. You know, I'm not a legal scholar. I just am a man trying to have common sense in the world. And anybody who's been outside of America, and unfortunately many of the white supremacists have never been outside of America, or in fact they try to go to Germany to pay homage to Hitler's grave and weird shit like that. Guys, when you step outside of America, it's much safer. I'm filming this video in Turkey now. Never felt safer in my life. I would have a heart attack just literally being in the States, right? At this point, because of the number of shootings. I'm ranting right now, but let's continue. All right, anyway, the point I'm just trying to make, though, is if you don't comply with the police's orders, that does not give the police the right to shoot you. And anybody who says that is a sick, disgusting person. And they're a hypocrite, because most likely, when they get pulled over or they feel like they're being mistreated by the police, they're not just going to comply. And we saw that with our very eyes on January 6th, when the police were telling these right-wing nuts to get away from the Capitol, and these people kept storming in. But if you ask the right-wing nuts, that wasn't them, right? These people have no courage. They're not men. They're pussy. Anyway, the Missouri State Highway Patrol, MSHP, said the shooting occurred as officers with the Kansas City Police Department, KCPD, attempted to arrest the occupants of a car in connection with a reported armed carjacking. Armed carjacking, that's a very serious offense. I am not trying to mitigate this woman if she is guilty of doing this crime, if she actually did it, right? Though I thought in America everybody's presumed innocent until proven guilty, but this is all a fallacy, right? Just like the fact that they regularly violate the Constitution when they say there shall not be unreasonable bail, but people's bails are $300,000, $500,000, $1 million, right? The Constitution, right? Our legal system really doesn't matter. You know, the real funny thing is a lot of the right-wing people now, when they see that the vultures are circling in on the Second Amendment and they see that real gun reform is probably around the horizon, a lot of the right-wing people are now saying, the Constitution is just a piece of paper. Oh, God. Oh, God. So these people that were so adamant about protecting the Constitution, standing up for constitutional rights, now when it's coming for the one thing that they really love, the gun, the barrel that resembles what they really want to worship, a phallus, now that this thing is about to be taken away, now the Constitution is just a piece of paper, right? Anyway, I'll continue. As officers attempted to make contact with the vehicle's occupants, a man exited the vehicle, fled on foot, and was apprehended. The MSHP said. He was not identified. The Highway Patrol said Hale exited the vehicle and fled into the store's parking lot. 2 officers fired shots. MSHP added. A suspect's handgun was recovered from the scene. Hale was seriously injured, and her condition is stable. No other injuries, right? So apparently they found a gun. Okay. A lot of right-wing people will say now, listen, this person had a gun, the police had the right to shoot her. Whatever in their twisted logic they come to. Sure, they deserve to shoot her. But the point of every time I talk about these incidents is, number 1, not to bash on police. Number 2, not to bash on white people. And it's not to excuse criminality done by black people. The point of these videos is to say, essentially, nobody in America should be running around with AR-15s, handguns, all sorts of stuff. We need to make it prohibitively expensive, difficult, and almost unbearable to have a gun, if not abolish them, period. This makes the most sense. A lot of you idiots who want to comment about my views on the Second Amendment never left America, have never traveled outside of your state, live in these all homogenous communities, and want to come tell me that we just need more guns in America, right? Or you leave racist comments calling me the nigger or something like that, right? Fuck you guys. I really don't care. I find it all funny anyway. But it doesn't make sense. If you speak to anybody else from any other country around the world, and this is what I do all day, I speak to people from countries all over the world all day. Russia, Ukraine, Chile, Peru, Mexico, Turkey, Serbia, Tunisia, Indonesia. I talk to people literally from all over the world all day, and I talk to them about what's happening in America. And when I ask these people, do you want more guns in your country? They say, hell no. And they constantly ask me, Why do you allow this to happen in America? And I really have no answer other than people love the gun more than they love other citizens, because that's the truth. If you are so committed to the Second Amendment, that means you do not give a damn about the kids in Uvalde, the kids in Columbine, kids at Stoneman, Douglas in Florida. You guys do not care, because enough is enough. Enough is enough. And you know what? The senator from my state, Bill Cassidy, I saw him on the news a few days ago, and they asked him in the hallway, Senator Bill Cassidy, what are you going to do about the weapons? Why can't we ban AR-15s? And Bill Cassidy said this. He said, well, what about the rural guys in Louisiana who use these rifles to shoot feral pigs? Oh, Bill Cassidy. Oh, Bill Cassidy. So, Bill Cassidy, it's more important for these rednecks in Louisiana to go out mudding and shooting feral pigs with AR-15s than it is to get them out of the streets to stop not only the violence in Chicago, because the right-wing people love to talk about Chicago. It's not important to get the guns out of the country that are weapons of war because people want to shoot feral pigs. Fuck you, Bill Cassidy. Fuck you. Fuck you, fuck you. I hate Louisiana politics. I hate our elected representatives. They're all really, like these guys, if they went back in time, they would have made excuses for slavery. Like, that's how bad the elected representatives in Louisiana are. They're really shit. I'm sorry, I'm ranting. I haven't done a political commentary in a few days, so I have a lot to say. Because the shootings have just not stopped. It's just not stopped. And the more they happen, the more I keep saying abolish the Second Amendment. And I promise to do more political commentary. All right, nobody's going to stop me. Who's going to stop me? Except myself. Anyway, I believe Shédanja, Shédanja, who had gone to the store with her 3 children, described a scene where officers opened fire on a woman who allegedly posed no threat. All right. She told the Star that when she arrived at the store, she heard officers yelling, "Get out of the car," to 2 people in a vehicle next to hers. A man got out, jumped a fence, and fled, she said, and 3 officers ran after him. Hale got out of the vehicle with her hands up, Shédanja said. When officers told her to get on the ground, she told them she was pregnant and couldn't, Shédanja said. Officers repeatedly asked Hale to get down, she said, and at one point Hale told officers there was a gun in the vehicle. Hale then started backing towards a fence, and several officers approached her with their guns drawn, Shédanja said. She did not pull out a weapon on them, she said. She did not even have a stick in her hand. Okay, so, yeah, where's the compassion, man? Like, where's the compassion? I know the compassion goes out the window because these police are scared for their lives. And yes, I do know that every year police are murdered by civilians, right? I believe it was like Young Thug's homie, Young Briss, shot a police officer like 6 times a few months ago, right? Police get killed too. I don't think that should happen. I don't think citizens should be killed by police. I don't think that we should allow a gun culture to continue to thrive. Not the sharpest tool in the shed, but I will say this. If we continue to have this gun culture in America, if we do not say enough is enough, and we either regulate these guns, put prohibitive measures around them to stop it, we will continue to have crazy, crazy shootings like this, right? A pregnant woman gets shot. 20 kids killed in a school in Texas. How long does the bloodshed have to continue? You know? It does not have to be this way. We have to change our culture and mindset. And we are Americans. Like, I know I do not live in America, and I never have plans to live in America again. But we have done amazing things as a country, right? We bombed the shit out of Japan. We tore those Japanese up, man. Seriously. We should be proud that we're able to, have coups in other countries, overthrow democratically elected governments. We should be proud that we send drones everywhere to murder other people's children. Why can't we protect our own? Why can't we protect our own? Let's be proud of our empire. If you're a right-wing nut, if you're a right-wing fascist watching my channel, you should have the doctrine to at least say that America is great because we have been able to reign supreme with our hegemony all over the world. And we've been able to terrorize other people. We should not terrorize our own. We should not terrorize our own. We should not have a country that allows other citizens to terrorize us. because we are the, the sole superpower, and we are the people that shall continue to, dictate which president gets elected and which president gets to live, etc., right? I'm not saying that's what I believe. I'm not a supporter of the American empire, but I'm just saying, as a country, we've done great stuff that we should be proud of, right? So why don't we be proud of the fact that we can get rid of the gun culture to save lives? You know what I mean? All right. Anyway, so she did not even have a stick in her hand. According to Shédanja, Hale had taken just 3 steps to run away from the officers when they had fired 5 times. I remember it because it didn't stop. They shot 5 times, Shédanja said. Newsweek has reached out to her for further comment. In a video she captured following the shooting, Hale is seen lying on the ground with blood on her shirt as other officers arrive on the scene and one appears to handcuff her. The witness account of the shooting has prompted outrage on social media. She had her hands up and told police she could not follow their directions to get on her stomach because she was pregnant. There is no reforming this, tweeted activist Leslie Mack. All right, Leonna Hale is a 26-year-old unarmed pregnant black woman who was shot 5 times by Kansas City police on Friday. She had her hands up and told police she could not follow their directions to get on her stomach because she was pregnant. There is no reforming this. Abolition now. I'm still on the fence about abolishing the police. I do believe in the state to some degree, so I can't imagine the state not having some sort of teeth. I don't know. I'm still on the fence. I haven't really brought much attention to abolishing the police. I'm more about reforming cultures, reforming mindsets, getting rid of white supremacist ideals, etc. Anyway, Brittany Daniel wrote, "How many people have to die before y'all realize police can't be reformed? Leonna Hale deserve better. We all do." Okay. As of right now, I would say I am not about abolishing police. I'm about changing the culture. I believe police will be police and the state will always somewhat have police. Now, I know I usually believe in what my ideals are rather than what is politically possible, right? I would just say that it's just natural in a way for the state to have some sort of, armed protection of property and people's rights. I think, once again, it's not a police problem. It's a societal problem, because if you are a Blue Lives Matter person, or if you're an All Lives Matter person, right? If you're one of those people, you should want to see police live. Number one, police are killed often by civilians, right? The civilians kill these police with weapons, right? Police in other countries around the world that are not like Civil War, Third World, Mad Max societies do not get killed at the rate American police do. Why? Because the civilians do not have guns. It's not a part of their culture. You don't hear about this in France, England, Sweden, hell, even Russia, right? Doesn't happen that often, and not to the rate that it does in America. If you are a Blue Lives Matter person, it's also in your interest to see the guns taken away out of society, because the police are being killed by civilians, and they're killing civilians because they think civilians are armed, and there's a high probability. To be honest, if I'm 1,000% honest, because I don't lie on my channel isn't monetized, I don't have sponsors, I'm just me, I'm just one guy. If I was a police officer, I'd be scared shitless too. And to be honest, if I was a police officer, if I was in certain situations, I don't know how I would react. I would imagine that I would have, enough capacity to refrain myself from pulling the trigger, but I don't know, because I have a wife, you know what I mean? I have a family now, like, I gotta get home. So I understand completely what a police officer is going through in their mind. Because I'm on the chan, and I see police officers getting killed, right? That's a bad thing. I do not support any sort of violence. I don't support people killing police, and I don't support police killing civilians, but I understand that police have a lot of fear in their mind, because anybody could be armed. You could pull a guy over for a traffic ticket, you go up to the window, bam, and it's over, right? It's scary, but it's scary because we allow the culture to be, and we need to get rid of the guns. We need to abolish the Second Amendment, period. That's my ideal. That's the only way we can have a a more just, equal, safe society in America. There's no other way around it, because this will continue to happen. It will continue. It's not going to stop. You can't give everybody in America a gun and expect the good guys with guns to cancel out the bad guys with guns. It's just going to get nasty. And I don't think the answer is abolishing the police. All right? So, all right, let's continue. She'd have been safer if, instead of being unarmed and pregnant, she were armed in a school shooting children, added Steve Cox, referring to the delayed police response to the shooting at an elementary school in Uvalde, Texas last week. What a brutal tweet. Oh my God, Steve Cox, you got some nuts, buddy. All right, the MSHP said it had been asked by KCPD to investigate the shooting involving the department's officers. KCPD's interim police chief Joseph Mabin said the department would be 100% transparent, KCTV5 reported. The two officers involved in the shooting have been placed on administrative leave, a KCPD spokesman confirmed to Newsweek. Newsweek has reached out to MSHP for further comment. I believe that's the end of the article. All right. So, yeah, we'll stop here. Let's go to Mother Jones. All right, Kansas City police shot a black woman who said she was pregnant and had her hands in the air. Leonna Hale, 26, now reportedly has a collapsed lung. All right, so she survived, but who knows if her child will survive and if she'll recover, right? This was written by Samantha Michaels. So, facts matter. All right, let's continue. So, on Friday, police officers in Kansas City, Missouri, repeatedly shot a woman in a store parking lot even after she told them she couldn't get on the ground because she was pregnant. A witness who spoke with Kansas City Star said the woman, 26-year-old Leonna Hale, had her hands up moments before the officers fired their weapons. Hale had been sitting in a car outside a Family Dollar store when officers ordered her to get out, according to the witness. A mother named Shédanja, who had gone to the store with her children to get gas and ice cream. The officers suspected that Hale and a man inside the vehicle might have been involved in a carjacking in a neighboring city, according to the Missouri State Highway Patrol. The man exited the vehicle, jumped a fence, and ran as officers chased him, according to Shédanja. She watched Hale, who is black, step out of the car with her hands raised in the air. When officers ordered Hale to get on the ground, Hale told them she couldn't because she was pregnant, according to Shédanja. Hale added that there was a gun in the car and began inching backwards as officers approached her with their weapons drawn. She then ran 3 steps away from the officers, who responded by shooting her 5 times, according to Shédanja. Sergeant Andrew Bell of the Highway Patrol told me that a medical examination would need to be conducted to determine how many times Hale was shot. Hale seemed scared at them all coming towards her with guns in her face, Shédanja later wrote on Facebook. Yeah, I can understand that's a scary situation, man. I've had guns pointed at me before by the police. Scary. I've actually been in a similar situation. I was pulled over driving to Key West from Miami, and the cop asked me, do you have any weapons in the car? And I said, yeah. And I told him, and it was scary as fuck. But he didn't even give me a ticket, honestly. He was actually a cool guy. And once again, I don't make these videos to villainize police. I'm not here to say that all police are bad. I'm not here to villainize white people. For whatever reason, people are just consumed with hatred rather than reason and logic. But the problem is the culture that we allow in our society, where guns are seen as the sign of Americanness, and we love the gun more than we love our other citizens, which is sad, which is very sad. Right, but yeah, I got pulled over by the police. They asked me if I had a weapon. I said, yeah, I do. I had my permit, my license, everything. It was cool. And let it go. That was when I still had guns. Then I sold them a few months after going to Key West. All right, anyway, it's unclear whether Hale was armed. The Highway Patrol's Bell told local reporters on Friday that a suspect handgun was discovered in the parking lot after the shooting, but he did not specify then whether Hale herself had a weapon. Bell told me on Tuesday that Hale did have a gun in her hand when she was shot. We know for a fact that she was armed, he said. The police are such liars, bro. It's worth adding that there have been many incidents around the country of the police lying or providing misleading information to the public after they shoot or injure people, though it's not clear they did so in Hale's case. Not too long ago, a prosecutor accused Kansas City cops of falsely claiming that Cameron Lamb, a 26-year-old black man, was armed when they fatally shot him in 2019. Yeah, so they lied about that, like they've been doing. Like, Oh God. For some people, they find it impossible that police would lie, as if they're not people, right? As if they're not people with a job. They're not people who make mistakes, right? Or they're not people who do malicious acts. Like, why would you think just because a police officer shoots somebody, it has to be 100% correct? There are people who actually think anytime the police do anything, they're 100% right. But it's actually only 100% right when it's against people they don't like, right? Because when the police were fighting with these Capitol rioters, when the police come arrest a white supremacist or something like that, they have no, they say, oh, this is state intrusion and all this sort of stuff. Don't tread on me and all this other BS, man. These people are sick, right? But to them, the Constitution is just a piece of paper, right? To some of them. I'm sure this phrase is going to become bigger and bigger. Watch. I promise, in the next few months, if not years, the Overton window is going to move, and soon the right will be saying the Constitution is just a piece of paper. It's getting to that point where the right is and the reactionaries and the conservatives are becoming so unhinged, where it's just like they're just going to say the Constitution really doesn't matter. Hell, some people might say that to me. In fact, that's the kind of view I have. Yes, the Constitution is just a piece of paper. The Constitution literally started off by allowing black people to be slaves, right? And we let a piece of paper dictate our humanity. Like, of course, the Constitution is just a piece of paper, but it should represent more than just a piece of paper. It should represent the ideals that we want in our society, the ground rules, the foundation on how we govern ourselves. All constitutions, that's the point of it. Yes, it's just a piece of paper, but everything is fake in this world, right? Borders are fake, nations are fake, all of this is fake, right? It's not really real, honestly, if we really think about it. That's why I'm a globalist, honestly, not a nationalist of any sort, right? I would just want better for American society, because society is a concept that we create, and it actually is real because we participate in it every day. I shall continue. All right, the witness, Shédanja, said Hale was not holding a gun. She did not pull out a weapon on them, Shédanja told the Star. She did not even have a stick in her hand. Video footage filmed by Shédanja appears to show Hale lying on the ground after the shooting with blood on her shirt as an officer handcuffed her. When Shédanja repeatedly asked the officers why they fired the weapons, they did not answer. More than a few minutes went by before Hale was offered any assistance, Shédanja said. The Highway Patrol's Bell could not confirm or deny that allegation, but said the agency would know more after evaluating body camera footage. We will have a lot more detail in the coming days, weeks, he said, adding that footage of police shootings aren't normally released to the public during an investigation, but that the prosecutor's office could release it later. Hale went to the hospital with serious injuries but was in stable condition as of Friday night, thank God, according to Bell. According to the Kansas City Defender, she has a broken arm, a collapsed lung, and bullets lodged in her body. Bell cast doubt on whether Hale was pregnant, but said the agency had not been able to verify one way or the other because of the privacy laws that prevent the hospital from releasing information about her health. There is a rumor she's pregnant. We understand that, Bell told me. We believe she's not pregnant. Okay. Who knows? Who cares? Doesn't matter if she's pregnant or not pregnant. Police shouldn't be shooting people that are running away. If she did run away, police shouldn't be shooting people that are unarmed. Civilians shouldn't have guns. Let's be, like, reasonable here, people. Like, this is all silly. Like, it's really retarded. It's. I hate to use the R word, but the situation is just confoundingly dumb, how we continue to let this happen. State troopers are now investigating what happened to Hale, and two of the officers involved in the incident have been placed on administrative leave. It is unclear whether Hale and the man who was with her are still suspected of involvement in a crime. As of Tuesday, Bell said he did not believe anybody was in police custody for the alleged carjacking. So you shot some people and they're not even, like, you're not even going to arrest them. They're not suspects. Like, oh God, oh God. The witness, Shédanja, wrote on Facebook that the incident had traumatized her and her young children, who also watched it. I'm literally in shock, she wrote in a post sharing her video footage. She later deleted the post because it was disturbing her. Keep in mind, she added, that they chased her boyfriend, who jumped out of the vehicle, and he was captured unharmed, while she was left there in the street, literally still near the vehicle she got out of. Shédanja was dismayed at how the officers handcuffed Hale after shooting her. I'm a whole medical assistant, and it's literally not how you handle a gunshot victim who's pregnant. All right? The case has sparked outrage among activists around the country who say there was no good reason for the police to fire their weapons at Hale. She had her hands up and told police she could not follow their directions to get on her stomach because she was pregnant. There is no reforming this, tweeted activist Leslie Mack of the Frontline, a campaign of the Working Families Party, the Movement for Black Lives, and other racial justice advocacy groups. If mass murderers of black people can be apprehended alive, tweeted Kimberly Crenshaw, referring to the Buffalo shooting, executive director of the African American Policy Reform think tank. Why must black people in traffic stops constantly fear for their lives? So yeah, there is a double standard when white people are apprehended. I mean, study after study shows that black people are more likely to be shot by the police, right? Which is a bigger problem of a white supremacist society, a society that fears black men, and also a society that in general puts criminality on black people, even though black people and white people commit crimes generally at the same statistical rate. If you disagree with me on that, stop reading those 4chan poll infographics and all your other graphs that you get from any other weird underground torrent stuff. Oh man, my mind is fried. It's 4 a.m., but yeah, stop reading these weird infographics. Actually do some actual reading. Read some real statistics. Black people and white people commit violent crimes generally at the same rate. Okay, stop distorting information if you're a white right-wing nut watching this far. I'll end with this. Once again, full recovery to Leonna Hale. If she is pregnant, I hope her child is okay. I hope that we as Americans can stop the gun culture. Too many lives are being lost. You know, I think it's around 50,000 Americans every year die from gun-related deaths. And it's getting just out of hand. It's getting sick. It's getting sad, bro. And once again, I'm filming this video in Turkey. You might call me a coward because I left America. It's fine. And if you want to still continue to believe America's the greatest country in the world, that's fine. You can believe that BS too. Please, if you haven't already, if you're a black American and watching this, get your passport. Start exploring, looking at your options. If you want help trying to figure out a plan, contact me. I'm an ESL teacher. You won't make a lot of money, but you can make enough to travel, find a place to set up at. And that's what I'll say. That's all I have to say. So thank you for watching. My name is Simon Hill, and peace in the truest sense to all people. To all people.